Hello, universe. Here we are again together. I'm very bright today. I look like a fruit salad exploded. It's okay though. This has been a fairly good day. But I'm still gonna cry like I did yesterday. No, I'm not. Not gonna cry. There's no crying in vlogging. No crying. Especially not in cardio vlogging. Unless you get a cramp. You can't see what I'm wearing below, but it's nothing. No, I'm kidding. I'm wearing orange. My lid, as it were. Green tank top. And gold shorts. This is why I don't have any friends. Because I dress like this normally. What the hell am I doing that for? Okay. Alright. Woo! Woo! This is when you turn the channel. Oh wait, it's not TV. Now for a commercial break. No, it's commercials. Okay. I've been smoking some of that weed that preacher was talking about in that video I posted earlier. Alright, so what's going on in the news? There's our sound. Oh yeah, feel the wind. Some people stand in the dark, afraid to step into the light. I'm not ready for Baywatch yet. Anyway, so I heard something today. Believe it or not, I'm not going to talk about George Zimmerman or Paula Deen. So there are some interesting things in the news, though. So did you hear that Kanye West beat up on a paparazzi? Now, I'm not a big fan of paparazzi harassing people, but the two things that come to mind is, number one, why are people more pissed at Kanye West for attacking someone who's just doing their job? And if you are mad at Kanye, if you aren't mad at him for doing that, then you're basically advocating for it and supporting it. And why do I say that? Because all the tabloids that are out on the market, the shelves at the market, and the bookstores that we buy, well, I don't buy them, but that people buy, that's where those paparazzi come from. They get pictures, and that's how they sell books and newspapers, magazines, whatever. And so, excuse me, really, when you think about it, if you stop buying that stuff, fewer paparazzi will do it. And if you don't stop buying that stuff, then they have to make a living somehow, and they get attacked by people like Kanye West. And they really, those celebrities that hurt the paparazzi for doing that, if they entered my personal space, I would basically tell them, I'll spray you with mace. I'm not going to physically attack you, but you're in my territory, you're endangering me or my family, I will spray you with mace. Step away from us. And that's the end of it. You don't have to start hurting people. That's low class, Kanye. And it says you don't know how to find a resolution otherwise. There's always another choice besides resulting to violence. And mace is not violence. Mace is saying, back up. It's like a rattle, basically, but less lethal. Think of it that way. Mace is like your rattle, like a snake would rattle. And snakes, you know, it's really interesting because I was watching all that stuff on the Animal Planet about Steve Irwin and a couple of other people who go in search of dangerous creatures abroad. Not abroad, although certain broads are dangerous. But anyways, And I really came to have a respect for snakes. Not just snakes, any kind of creature. Mind you, I still eat chicken and things like that, but just talking about respect for their defense mechanisms. So, snakes, I have a little more respect for. Because in most cases, snakes aren't aggressive, but they may seem that way because you hear about snake bites. But really, it's a double-edged thing because, well, not really double-edged, but on one hand, you look at it, and if you get into a snake's territory, that's when they rattle, and that's when they bite. Okay? And it's because it's a defense mechanism. That's all they have to defend themselves. My whole point with that was, you can defend yourself, Kanye, any celebrity from paparazzi, by basically not giving them anything to mess around with. If they get in your face, spray them with mace. Hell, if it requires it, because it won't hurt them. And then in your personal space, there's so many phones out now, video yourself with them and telling them to leave you alone, and saying if you don't leave me alone, you'll taser them, and then taser them. Now here's an interesting point about that. You know that, how did I get into George Zimmerman again? Holy crap. Well, you know that thing they were talking about with disliking and trying to, stopping the stand your ground law? Tasers would be included in that, most likely. So basically, if a paparazzi got in your face as a celebrity, and you told them to back off over and over again and they didn't, and you tasered them, you could go to jail. You could be sued. That's why we don't need those kinds of laws taken that stop, or those kinds of laws created that limit your ability to protect yourself. Right to bear arms is important, and not just a firearm. Taser, mace, any of that stuff. And heck, I would record everything on video if possible. Someone's harassing you, just like that guy did with that cop who was harassing him, and everything else. Someone harasses you, whip out your smartphone. They're so easy to do nowadays. Turn on the camera and say, hey, listen, you're harassing me, you're in my space, I'm telling you to back up once. Now, if they say, well, what are you going to do about it? I'd say, I'm only going to warn you once. And then if they get in your face again, hit them with mace, get them with a taser, and get them to leave you alone. That's your right as a person. And there's nothing wrong with that, to defend yourself. Because it presents the potential for imminent danger. So, there's that. Anyways, I did post a video about a response video to this preacher in Harlem who just really went off about how people are judging George Zimmerman pretty much unfairly for the most part. And I don't know the full set of circumstances of everything going on with the George Zimmerman trial, but he makes a very valid point from a religious standpoint, if you are a religious person. So I suggest people to check it out. It's interesting. At the very least, it's interesting. It's definitely a different take on it. And did you hear about the? Hang on, let's see if I can get my. The hell's my? Oh, I thought I had my tie with me, but I don't. My hair's a flicking in the breeze. Did you hear about the woman in Texas, at Six Flags Over Texas, in Fort Worth, that was thrown from a roller coaster and killed? She fell like 14 stories, supposedly. The Texas Giant was the roller coaster, by the way. Now they're doing all these inspections, and this is where the media comes into play. And this is how they contort things. So, they're trying to suggest this woman had some preconceived notion that there was something wrong with the roller coaster. I'm not saying she didn't say, "Are you sure this thing is strapped right or connected right? I don't feel comfortable." But I would suspect that a huge percentage of people who get on roller coasters that go upwards of 100 miles an hour are probably probably a lot of them are very concerned as to whether or not their restraints will hold. But I'm on a roller coaster, no kidding, even if I have a bar and a security belt, I hold on to the damn bars around it, okay? I have one hand on two different things. So if one goes, the other one I have to hold on to. And I'm not saying that I would be any more fortunate than this lady. But I'm sure as hell going to do my best to hold on to the damn roller coaster. At whatever circumstance I have. If it means holding on to the damn chair, I'm going to find at least two different potentials. So like I said, if one falls, I've got the other one. And it's very tragic. And my point is that the media really contorts stuff like that. Saying that she was concerned about, or had some sort of preconceived notion that something was going to happen. I'm not saying people don't have those vibes, because they do. But I'm suggesting a line of logic that a lot of people think that. And who said that? Was it the employee? Who told the news that? Was it the employee that told them after the ride happened and she died that she said there was something wrong with her seat? Was it the employee? Because if that's the case, the employee should have said, if you don't feel comfortable, get off the ride. And then they would have been in safety, if they would have been doing the right thing. If, however, the employee said, okay, you don't feel safe, but it's fine, then that person should be fired. Now, if it's other people on the ride saying, she said that, and they heard her say that, how the hell did you even hear her saying that? And how many other people say that? That's just like people trying to get involved in news stories. Like everyone wants for 15 minutes. I heard her say that she was concerned. No, you didn't. If you got on that roller coaster and you were in front of her or behind her, the only thing you experienced is witnessing her fall. If you weren't crapping your pants at the time from going upside down in a roller coaster. So let's just be realistic about it, okay? And this is where the press is dangerous. Because they're throwing doubt on the company not knowing what they're doing. This is one of those situations where the Texas Giant they have to pass all kinds of points of inspection every day before they can take off. They have to have fire marshals approve the ride to take off. It happens at the fair, it happens in any situation. They have fire marshals on hand. I'm not sure if their title is fire marshal at the parks like Six Flags, but they have safety inspectors who have to approve and sign off before the ride goes up in the air. And they have points they have to inspect. And I am quite certain that the safety inspector evaluated, and to the best of his knowledge and expertise, thought the ride was safe. Because it's his ass or her ass if it's not. I'm sure they did their best. This is just, unfortunately, one of those occasions where something went wrong. And you can't predict it. If we could predict when things went wrong, nothing bad would ever happen. It just happens sometimes. Sometimes it's machine caused. Sometimes it's caused by man. It just happened. And you can't predict it. Like I said, we would prevent it. I just like the media sort of perpetuating doubt about Six Flags and things like that. Because I'm sure they did their damnedest to make sure that no one would be in danger. And you could say they're only concerned with making money. Well, part of making money is making sure you don't get sued. It's just like people suing. My voice is changing again. When it's time to change. It's just like people suing Toyota for the car issues right now. They're suing them. And Toyota, I'm sure, did not design a car that would have brake issues intentionally. There may have been something in their safety inspection that occurred that they missed. But I'm sure they don't intentionally set out to make inferior cars and get them on the road, because it could cost them more in lawsuits than it could in profits. And in many cases, in order to avoid too much negative press, they settle these cases and they go out of court. And there are so many people, unfortunately, that are sue happy. And that impacts us as customers. That impacts insurance. That impacts future lawsuits that are based on real tragedies that are intentionally caused because of bogus lawsuits that get settled out of court just so lawyers can make money and people can get a couple $100,000 if they want to. And I'm telling you, a lot of people who sue do bogus lawsuits. You know it as well as I do. And it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. So anyway, I'm going to make sure this video is uploadable in one part today. There's a lot of interesting stuff in the news though, don't you think? Oh, and the presentation is going great. Great. I'm happier with this presentation than I was the last one. I'm going to really bust my butt to get the presentation ready so I can share it with you before I head out to do it on Wednesday. I really want to get it done. Just want to get your thoughts on it. But my brain says we'll be up to the last minute because I'm a perfectionist. But I'm going to do my best. So, thanks so much, as always, for watching. You, whoever you are, I really do appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. You've enjoyed your weekend, gotten out, enjoyed the rain. Oh, last thing that was really interesting. You know how everybody says that rain, they're like, rain, go away? I bet Palm Springs is not thinking that. Because of the rain going on in different parts of the country right now, it's helped to control a fire that was raging. So, heck yeah, who says rain can't be helpful? And it's allowed some people to go back to their homes. It's contained a fire. We've heard about the firemen that have unfortunately died in the last few weeks. Specifically the 19 firefighters that died in Arizona. And the rain came to their aid. And in ways it's actually helping to control a fire so more people don't die, more firefighters don't die, more citizens don't die in general. So, thank you, rain. You actually benefited the world in a positive sense, other than just feeding our plants. You saved part of humanity in a way. And I'm glad for that. In this situation, you were a hero. So thank you. And once again, I hope you have a good evening. Enjoy the rain. Don't do anything that could potentially put you in harm's way with the rain. But enjoy the rain. Stand out in the rain. Feel it across your face, your lips, your arms, whatever. Rolling through your hair, all upon your head in general. And smile and enjoy life. I appreciate your watching. And as always, live with passion. See you tomorrow.